I'm Brian Sapp, and this is Sapp Photo, and today this is a new series I'm starting called Hacking Your iMovie. Today we're going to learn how to podcast with iMovie. iMovie is a great software to use because, one, it's free, and two, it's relatively easy to navigate. We're going to create a podcast using iMovie because you can see the video or you can see the audio, you can see the person talking, so that makes it easier to kind of make your cuts. You're not just having to read the waveform. And also, it just allows you to be able to keep it on one device. We're going to be able to record using QuickTime and then edit in iMovie. So it keeps it all on one device. You don't have to set up a camera. So let's go ahead and get into making a podcast. Okay, we're going to break this down into 5 easy steps. 1, writing your script. 2, recording your content and your information. 3, importing that content into iMovie. 4, editing the content. And 5, exporting your final podcast. First, let's start with your content. You need to have a good script. We can cover scripting in later videos, but right now you write your script, you figure out what you want to say. If you want to have a person with you to interview, you can have them there with you next to the computer, but you have to know what you're going to say. Even if you're doing an interview, you should have your questions set up. You should be ready, have sort of a rundown so that you can easily create your content. But first, we'll go ahead and we need to write up that script. And here's what you see. I wrote up a script for a future video that I'm working on just some basic camera moves. Okay, so once you have your script done, it's time to record your content. Okay, we have QuickTime open and we want to do a new movie recording. And here it is in the big, and we want to make it smaller. Just remove it, reduce it off to the side because we don't need to be able to see ourselves as we're recording. You want to record in one long clip. You don't want to do separate clips because then you've got to try to organize them and keep them in order, and it's really hard. So you just do one clip. That way, as you're going through each time, you can hold up a 1 for the first segment. And then as you read, you continue, and if it's one long take that you have and it works, that's great. If you need to stop, and let's say here on the second paragraph, I stumble, I need to start over at the second paragraph, I hold up a 2. That way I have these markers so that I know where to trim when I'm looking back through my video. I'm going to record here. I'll go ahead and start my recording. Number 1. I'm Brian Sapp, and this is the Content Creators Podcast. These items of interest should be what you want. Okay, I messed up there. We're going to do 2. Okay, so now we're done filming right here on the screen. So we're going to hit the stop button and we're going to get a clip. And there's our clip. And we need to save it. So we go to File and Save. And we want to find a place that makes sense. So I'm going to make a new folder. And I'm going to call this Video Composition. And I'm going to title this Script so I know what it is. I'm going to save it there. And now we're ready to open up and start working and importing our video into iMovie. So let's go ahead and get started with that. Okay, we're going to open up iMovie and we want to create a new movie. And we want to create a new event in our folder here. And we're going to call this Video Composition. And as you do with most videos, you're going to import your media. And it's on our desktop. So go to my desktop here, Video Composition Podcast, and select my video. Make sure, check here, that I'm importing it into the correct folder, Video Composition, and I'm going to import it. Put your clip in the timeline and scroll to the number you marked for the first place to cut. So that would be number 1. Then I'm going to put the playhead here, right where I start. And the easiest way is to press Command B on your keyboard and you get a new, you split your clip there. Another way is to right click. We'll do that. Right click here and we can split the clip. But for me, the easiest way is to do Command B and go ahead and delete that and get rid of that. I'm Brian Sapp, and this is the Content Creators Podcast. So we're going to listen to it and get through to where we have number 2. There's number 2 there. And listen to that. Okay, I messed up there. there. We're going to do 2. And let's listen to it. These items of interest should be what you want the viewer to see. Okay, so we're going to go back. That's where we want to start. Command B again. We're going to listen now to see if we can find out where we made a mistake. Items in your shot to give the scene some organization. These items of interest should be what you want. Okay, I messed up there. So I messed up. I'm going to go back, and I stopped at the paragraph. So I'm going to pick this, Command B, and I don't want this section here, so I'm just going to delete it. So items in your shot to give the scene some organization. These items of interest should be... So there we go. It goes from one shot to another. So we're going to go ahead and go repeat this. You need to play the video and let it go to the next spot where you mess up. And then you need to repeat the steps. Right before you messing up, you press Command B. Find the next number to use and then repeat the process. So you want to go through this until you have your video finished. So step 4.5. If you want to add some flair, add some depth to your podcast, you want to add some music or some sound effects, that's what we're going to tackle now. So let's get back into it and look at what we need to do. So if we were to put music right here, it would cover me where I'm talking. So I need to give some space. And to do that, we'll just go over to the background, just pick something simple, and you just click and drag it down here. And you need to figure out what music you want to use. I'm going to give myself some space, about 7 seconds, just so that people can get in and they have a second for the audio to start before I start speaking and make sure I'm not cut off. And we'll just go to the iTunes or the audio, and I go straight to the jingles because that's where there's some short songs here. And let's listen to a song. So listen to a song, kind of like that. I'm going to use it for this case. So a little upbeat, drag it down where it needs to be, and let's play it. So that timed out pretty good. So if you want to fade it a little bit, and let's change the length of this so that we have the music come up a little bit closer. You want to adjust it till it sounds right to you. I'm Brian Sapp, and this is the Content Creators Podcast. Today we're going to talk about 3 easy composition tips for improving your videos. All right, so there we go. So we have our music in, and you can do that. Before we continue, you need to make sure that your volume's all at the same level. The key here with iMovie is to have it just peak at 100 into the yellow. So you want to just make sure that there's not all of it is in the yellow, but that's where the highest points are hitting the yellow. And we'll just go through and visually check all this out. These are all at about the yellow. And so now we have our video finished. We need to go back, watch it, listen to it, make sure that the volume stays consistent throughout, adjust it wherever it may need to be adjusted. And after you've checked and double checked, then you're ready to export. So now that you've checked it and you're sure that it's ready to go, we're going to go ahead and share our video here. And actually, this is where we're going to change it into a podcast and share it as audio. So first you want to go to Share, and you want to click on File. Give it a title, a final title. So this is the Content Creator Podcast. And this is where we change it to audio. Right here, you get the chance to make it video and audio. And we're going to turn it into audio only. And we're going to leave the format as a MP3. And you click Next. And then this is where you get to choose where it's stored. I'm going to stick with the same video folder, my video composition podcast, and we will click Save. And then you just need to wait as it saves. Okay, there it tells us that it's done. So I'm going to go ahead and click Show, because even though it says it's done, you've listened to it several times. You need to check one more time to make sure it plays. So if you put your mouse over it, you get this little preview button. I'm going to click Play. I'm Brian Sapp, and this is the Content Creators Podcast. And there you go. That's it. You've turned your iMovie into a podcast and you're ready to upload it to your favorite platform, whether it be iTunes or any other podcast service like that. And with that, this video is done. So if you liked it, be sure to hit the like button. And also, if you want to see more hacking your iMovie tutorials, hit subscribe and hit the notification so that you can be notified when those videos are up. And be sure to check out my Going Local stories. There I use many of the hacks that I'm going to go over in this Hacking iMovie series, and that way you can see them in action and see how they work. Thanks for watching.